Childhood immunizations are required for enrollment into school. A pediatrician with a private practice of 3,000 children will spend over $70,000 per month to stock their practice with the necessary vaccines. Due to the increased cost of vaccines, some physicians are considering no longer providing the service of immunizations. This poses a problem to parents of school-aged children. I'm going to inform you about the increasing cost of vaccines. I'm going to briefly discuss some of the reasons for the increasing cost of vaccines, the monopoly of a manufacturer of a certain vaccine, and the problems posed by the increasing cost of vaccines to physicians and parents. The first main point I will address is the increasing cost of vaccines. Why is it becoming increasingly more expensive to prevent childhood diseases? Vaccine prices have dramatically increased over the past few decades. One of the reasons is the reformulation of old vaccines. The process to combine several vaccines into one is very expensive and takes years of research and clinical studies. Also, vaccines are more expensive to produce due to the new regulations governing research and development. In the past, fewer volunteers were necessary for clinical studies. Presently, due to the increased concern of side effects from vaccines, more volunteers are necessary for clinical studies, which in turn means more data needs to be evaluated, which leads to extended clinical studies. Finally, since the price to produce a vaccine has increased, single manufacturers of vaccines list their products at outrageous prices to try and recoup their research and development costs. The next main point that I'm going to address is the monopoly of a manufacturer with a single vaccine. Is it vaccine marketing or is it vaccine mafia? Prevnar 13 is the most expensive vaccine on the market. It is given in a series of 4 injections. Each injection costs $136, and it is necessary for all children enrolling into school. The vaccine has not changed since it was approved by the Food and Drug Administration in 2010, yet the cost keeps increasing each year. According to FierceVaccine.com, the sole manufacturer of Prevnar 13, Pfizer, had a revenue of over $4 billion just from Prevnar 13 alone. No, it is not easy or inexpensive to produce a vaccine. Pfizer does have to recoup its investment. They also have to pay their shareholders. Yet, the price has not decreased over the years. Why? Because they do not have to. And some physicians see that lack of decrease in price as Pfizer exploiting their monopoly over the vaccine market. My final main point is the burden the increasing cost of vaccine has on physicians and parents. The cost to prevent childhood diseases is becoming a financial burden. The federal government purchases over half of the vaccines for our nation's children. Even with discounts, the increased cost of vaccines is a financial strain on the government's budget. The Affordable Care Act mandates that all vaccines are covered at no out-of-pocket expense to the patient. In 1982, a 2-month well baby checkup cost $22. In 2014, a 2-month well baby checkup cost $725 with private insurance reimbursement up to $613.79. Some insurances would reimburse physicians 10 to 30% below the cost of the vaccine. This means the physician would assume the financial loss, which in turn causes a financial strain on their private practice. Some physicians are opting to discontinue the immunization service completely from their practice in order not to assume that financial loss. This poses a problem to parents of school-aged children. This means they would have to make 2 appointments, one for the checkup, the second at a facility that provides the immunization service. This can be a burden on families with already busy schedules. Other physicians are opting to cut their financial loss by purchasing vaccines at discounted prices. The manufacturers Sanofi Pasteur offer back-to-school sales on their website, vaccineshop.com. On their website, they list their vaccines 5 to 10% below the cost. This in turn allows the physician to assume a less financial loss, continue to provide the immunization service, and the child be immunized and able to attend school. In conclusion, I have briefly discussed the increasing cost of vaccines, the monopoly of a manufacturer of a certain vaccine, and the problems posed by the increasing cost of vaccines on physicians and parents. The cost of vaccines are not decreasing, nor will they decrease anytime soon. The benefit of vaccinating children outweighs the increasing cost of vaccines. Preventative vaccinations are more cost efficient than having to treat and care for a child with the disease or the child succumbing to the disease. The reality is, this is a business. The manufacturer is out to make money. The physician is also running a business. Neither side wants to take a financial loss. Unfortunately, this game of monopoly is being played at the expense of our children.